Om Shanti, and a very good morning from Aberdeen.Hindu Temple on the 27th of December. It is the end of the year. It's the end of the year that is called 2020, and 2020 reminds us of 2020 vision. And so what have we seen, and what clarity, what vision have we? 2020 is the past. We will have full vision of what this year was, and obviously everybody knows it was a very different year from what we've always had before. And it has been a year of the whole range of possibilities, and a lot of suffering, a lot of pain. And yet there's always also what possibilities and opportunities have I managed to catch in this year. And in the Brahma Kumaris, we always say past is, but also the present becomes the past. And then when it is the past, then we will see what secrets, and then we will have an opportunity to check what we have actually attained in this year, because a lot of change has happened, and a lot of change come. So 2020 will give us 2020 vision of who we are and what our future is going to be, to get to 2021, or 4 days actually. And so what is the effort that I will actually put in these days to actually come closer to my 2020 vision, to come closer to understanding who I am and what effort will I do? We're all different, and we have different sanskaras, which means personality traits or characters. So we all have difference. But yet, and when we cooperate, then we show our beauty. I was so amazed at the Sikh community down in the southeast of England, the holiers who are stuck in front of the port of Dover, and united and in cooperation, they actually brought some love and some peace and some happiness to those who were stuck in front of the port of Dover. And so what is to make 2021 a year not just of revelation, but a year of enjoyment. That effort has created growth, and that growth has increased our understanding. And so, present 2020 here, we have been asked to stay in isolation, to be in lockdown. We might have been removed from our work. We've not been allowed to interact in the same way as we normally do with those whom we love or appreciate, or with. So those who maybe have friends and relatives far away have not been able to see them face to face. And so because that's a form of cooperation, renunciation, to cooperate for those who actually might be affected by the virus and therefore cannot be put into contact with that. And as a country, we have been united in bringing forward these type of restrictions. Now, for some people, they have been a godsend. They have been able to be in the family and work from home. For some others, it's been very, very difficult and very tough. Like, for example, here in Aberdeen, there are many oil workers and they have to go into quarantine. And so a trip that normally is 4 weeks becomes a trip that is 8 weeks or even more than that. So there's been a lot of extra effort that people have been putting in. And businesses have suffered. And so from the material, from the physical point of view, there has been a lot of loss. And so what has there on a spiritual level? Has least experience what it means to be isolated. And in fact, when we are in that isolation, the body and the mind will initially resist it and want to change it back into the noise. And there's a lot of noise. There's a noise from the media, from people around us, but there's also the noise in our minds. And it takes a long time of being alone, isolated, and in silence before that noise slowly becomes less. And where the resistance that we have for noise actually gives in. And when we allow that to happen, and we mold ourselves into that silence, into that stillness, a great understanding of who we are and what our roles are and what is really important in this world comes to the forefront. And that silence, beauty can occur. It requires silence, not noise. If we look at figures in our world, a lot came out of it. And I just take the example of people going into prison. That's not wanted. But many of them use their time in a worthwhile way. So the question is, like, if I used my time in a worthwhile way this year, where there were so many opportunities of going into silence, has the noise prevailed or not? If not, and I have been able to have good, harmonious relationships with those around me, then that's very good. That is a sign of success and of victory. But if that has not happened, or I continued to work and didn't have the opportunity of going into silence, or I've had difficulties with we have 4 more days left to actually go into silence. Silence of the mind. It doesn't mean silence of words. It doesn't mean not to speak at all. If there's need to speak, then that, and speak sweetly. And so it's about this out with me. So let me become calmer, slower, more mindful. This is a very topic. More aware of myself, of what's going on inside myself, about my feelings, my emotions, my aims, my objectives, my goals. And as I do so, I first look at them behind the mask with love, with respect, with tolerance. And out of my mouth come only words that are beneficial, encouraging, uplifting. So I don't allow myself to be taken by the situation, but I stay in silence inside. And when I stay in that silence inside, I allow the light of the Supreme, of God, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Being, and become the filter through which I see the world and with which I interact with the world. Now behind me, you will see a picture. Now the home of the Supreme is in Parandam. The Buddhists called it Nirvana, a place of golden red light, a place of absolute stillness, where there's nothing that can cause sorrow or pain, where there is only love that filters through this every molecule, so electrons then, because they remind us of matter, where there is no matter at all, but where there is the Supreme, the being of light, the one to whom we also might see the Supreme in its expressions of the different deities. But the Supreme is the only one. There's no other one that is as high and as perfect as He is. And so let us go into a meditation just now. For this, I want you to sit down and take just the next 10-15 minutes time for yourself. Whatever needs to be done, it can be done thereafter. There's no rush. So take a nice deep breath and relax your body. Do that again from your environment, from the sounds, smells, from the temperature, from whatever is around you. Just detach yourself. Go into that quietness that is inside you. That silence, that stillness that expands and is beneficial and beautiful. Become the point of light, the soul, the being of light that is eternal. From your physical costume and become light. Allow the light of the Supreme and fill yourself with power, with love, with purity, with happiness. See the world in front of you, this beautiful blue and green and brown planets. In the immensity of this universe, Baba's light, Shiv Baba's light, the light of the Supreme, shines on you, and you become the lighthouse that transmits Baba's light onto the world. And as the earth Baba's love and light onto the different countries, onto nature, onto other souls, human souls, and pass on the message of peace, of the need at this time to transform ourselves and become those who will benefit the earth, who will benefit relationships, people, animals, matter, who will fill everybody's hearts with hope and happiness, with joy. Because this time of the end of the year, of the past festivities, and the new year to come, is a time for reflection. It's a time for planning ahead what it is to embrace the change that has happened, to grow spiritually. And as we grow spiritually, we'll grow physically in our expression, in our lives, not necessarily the body. Let us have a vision of how we want to be in the new year to come. Are going to have an impression on the people that you meet. How your eyes going to speak silently. What message are your eyes going to reveal? Go beyond the expectations on a physical level. Because it's in the spiritual form that the happiness is expressed. Come close to the companion, to the eternal companion, friend, and our transformation to happen. Bring goodness, sweetness, and love into your world. World around you. Those in need, but ultimately become the angel, the messenger of the supreme light. Who brings the message of a new world. A world where there is beauty. A world where there's only positive action. A world where there's honesty and fairness. A world where, most and foremost, where our thoughts bring growth and well-being in others and in ourselves. Where there's harmony between each other. where we come from a silence fragrance that is inside that silence space is shared. Unity, benevolence, honesty and clarity, tolerance. When 2020 is past in a few days' time, and it has become the past, we have, and this newness to create a world that we want to create, that we want to bring into our day-to-day experience. Everything else around, and take power and light from that of light, of beauty and joy. Once your soul is filled with all that light and love, send that light and love as a beacon, as a lighthouse into the world, and what it reaches. But just giving, because this is the time for giving and for forgiving. Peace and happiness. Stay light, stay happy, do acts of kindness. And give, because in the giving there is receiving. See the year and send good wishes to the year to come. Embrace it and dance with it. With trust and courage, we'll work towards creating a beautiful world. Our hearts and shining out of our eyes. We will create a beautiful world. So use these days of the end of the year to harness as much spiritual silence that you can. The goodness that comes out of that space. If there's anything negative, because it is nothing more than a game. But in your heart, always carry the light of the Supreme. Om Shanti. See you in the new year. See you in 2021. Om Shanti.